Well, the curtains have been rolled back and the teams have been revealed. And the Terminix La Horquetta Rangers are set for action against Real Westford. Terminix Rangers, of course, they have been unbeaten in the competition so far. The only team that have been unbeaten. And they're coming up against a Real Westford team who languish in 8th position. This should be a very interesting match as we welcome our viewers across the Caribbean, Scene TV in Jamaica, Sportsmax, the regional leader in sports, and all of our online platforms, the Ascension tournament, and the CCN TV6 here in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, the big question, can the league leaders be stopped? Well, the answer so far has been a resounding no as Terminix Rangers continue to march forward. So first look at the teams in the competition. Of course, Dave Quamina, together with the manager of the owner rather of Terminix Rangers, and all smiles on their faces. So Real Westford, they're a team certainly stacked with talent. Can that talent produce on the high stage against the best team in the competition? That is the question to be had. So in just a minute, we will introduce you to the teams involved in the competition. First, let's see what the coaches spoke about with Brent Sancho earlier on.
Back to action on the field, of course, an important fixture here for you tonight as we get closer to the end of the tournament. 3 points is a must?
Oh, definitely. Every game from here on is a final for Rangers. Every game is a very, very important game. We are taking each game as a final, and Westford is a very, very strong team. You know, they are led by a very, very skillful coaching staff, as well as some very potent guys on the team, you know, Ball Pest and Gary Griffith Jr. And these guys, you know, we're expecting a very tough game, but we're hoping to be able to grind it out. You know, very, very hard game tonight.
Well, of course, Mr. Ferguson, your team is on top of the table, and all the best to you as this season continues, and we look forward to continue good football by Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. Of course, tonight's fixture against the top of the table team, Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. How has preparation been for Real Westford this week?
Well, we had a bit of a heartbreaker the last time we were out in terms of playing against Police, you know, going down to a 93-minute, losing 1-0. But I think tonight we have recuperated. We're back in the, what I like to call the ants nest. You know, it has been very kind to us. We have been considering a lot of goals here, but we have worked out that problem. We have decided what we're going to do, and I think against this Rangers team, we're going to get a good performance tonight.
What are some of the keys for the game here tonight if Real Westford is to go back to West Trinidad with all 3 points?
Well, first we had to be very competent at the back. You know, we've been making simple mistakes and giving up easy goals. But having said that, we also need to control the pace of the game. We know that Terminix Rangers love to really run at you. You know, so if you're able to get possession and use our more experienced players in Justima Belgrave and Karen Ballpest Cummins to keep possession, and of course, chances are going to arise when you play Real Westford.
Well, of course, the man in charge of Real Westford here, thank you very much for your words, and all the best to you to the rest of the season.
All right, thanks very much, and all the best to you and, of course, Mr. Ferguson's team, Terminix Rangers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, lots of words. The action is next, and there's a man that knows about action. He's called the Professor, Ron Laffery, former Trinidad and Tobago international, and one of the last people to score for Trinidad and Tobago in club competition. I'll tell you more about that later on as the referees lead the contingent of teams out on the field. Spoke about the unbeaten record of Terminix Rangers. Just 2 draws in the competition and W's after that. Long string of W's. Nobody has been able to stop them. Real Westford, though, they've only picked up 1 W in their last 5 matches. David Good versus Goliath, Brent Sancho.
When you look at this fixture and you look at what Terminix La Horquetta Rangers has brought to this tournament, it seems to be they're almost invincible. They've dominated teams, and in some instances, completely annihilated teams. For Real Westford, I think Administrator Gordon Pierce summed it up well. They have to be resolute defensively. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot of talent with that man at the front of the line, Karen Ballpest Cummins. There's no doubt about that. but he has to be a big part of the resolute defense.
Well, first look at the officials. Bacchus is in charge of the cast of officials. And, well, he's got the assistant of Wales, Ballyram, and Jassy McDonald. So he's got some experience around him, and he will look to keep control of the match better than he kept control of that coin. Ross Jr. wearing the armband for Terminix Rangers, but it's that man, the league leading goal scorer, Atula Guerra, who would hope to carry his team forward with some more goals in the competition. So as we did in the first match, we will have a moment of silence in memory of the former TTFA president and W Connection owner, David John Williams.
Your time starts now. Thank you very much, everyone.
Well, a strong moment of silence for a strong voice in football here in Trinidad and Tobago. A man that has certainly left his imprint in the footballing landscape here.
Yeah, David John Williams is president of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation just a few years ago. He's also been the club president of the most successful club in recent history in Trinidad and Tobago football, W Connection, in the Pro League era at least. And certainly a voice that will be missed. All right, let's take a look now at the lineups. And, well, they've got lots of experience in the Real Westport lineup. Veteran Cornel Thomas and Akil Laborde will help marshal them in defense. Karen Cummings, Gary Pifford Jr., Brendan Creed, all with international experience, while Josima Belgrave, the former TNT Youth International, he will sit in the middle. Ron Laforet will lead the team from the bench. For Terminix Rangers, well, has the team shuffled the pack more than this team? Jade Hoyt makes his debut for the team. Russ Russell Jr., Caleb Sturge, Junior Asun, Atula Guerra, the league leading scorer, together with Kadeem Corbin will lead the attacking line. 18-year-old Emmanuel Thomas and 19-year-old Daniel David will be in the middle. And the debutant getting his first start last week, Josiah Edwards, he gets a place in the starting lineup. 18 years old and impressive so far in the tournament. Dave Commoner is the coach of the team. But he's got big gloves to fill. Jade Hoyt in goal, placing Jabari St-Hilaire and Jabari Bryce. And big shoes to fill for Real Westport as they go out in search for victory against the league leaders and, wow, Junior Asun. Edwards creating the first real chance of the match. Very impressive last week, and I know he's a favorite of yours, Brent Sancho.
Yeah, we talked about the impact that Real Gill has had with this Terminix La Horquetta Rangers team. And then, of course, he's gone away on international duty. And seamlessly, the void has been filled by Edwards. Explosive, direct, and certainly impressive. A lot of potential in the young man. And, you know, you would like to see that sort of talent harnessed and developed and continue to move forward.
They'll assist the man who is in an offside position at the moment, Kadeem Corbin, for Rangers' second goal last week. And here's a fun fact, he is the younger brother of another Rangers player, Jamal Francois. Was birthed out of the La Horquetta Youth Coaching Academy, headed by the man at the touchlines for Rangers this evening, Dave Commoner. Well, he'd have just seen his father win with Central FC. He'd hoped to have a family winning moment.
Yeah, just a bit late with that challenge. That's Russell Jr. wearing the armband tonight. We talk about juggling of the starting lineup. There's also been a juggling of the captain armband since the regular skipper has been out injured.
But here's Karen Cummings, booted away by Russ Jr., making amends for the earlier indiscretion. Oh, they certainly have mixed it up, haven't they? Terminix Rangers got lots of depth. More depth than the Mariana Trench, some might say. Well, here's a man who has depth in goal scoring, but the whistle, well, stops his pleasure. Welcome to all our viewers at CCN TV6 in Trinidad and Tobago. Hello and welcome to the Ascension action here in La Horquetta. And of course, our friends around the region. Do drop us a flag in the comments if you're viewing our streaming platform, as the first chance has opened up for the visiting team Real Westport, and Akil aboard. Well, he knows he could have put his team ahead.
Well, it was a direct, long, probing ball by that man, Kieran Ballpest Cummings. They created havoc. The back line eventually falling, but he hooked his shot wide. That's a chance.
Oh, Johannes Richardson looked all at sea. His defending. Here's Daniel David, 19 years old.
That's lovely.
Well, the shot not as lovely as the bit of action early, but it might have taken a deflection to his credit, so it's a corner. Has been one of the most impressive young players in the tournament, Daniel David.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of craft and guile, and certainly some good feet. He's certainly not just been impressive in the tournament, but he's left some very good, lasting memories in the performances that he's put in on both sides of the coin, both defensively and offensively.
He is a product of the Trendsetter Hawks Coaching Academy, led by Anthony Dada Wickham. This is deep, looking for Guerra. Finds the head of Asun, who couldn't keep it down. Oh, if skill were a person, would be Junior Asun, the former Shiva Boys man, given some of the top highlight moments of the tournament. Keep your eyes on him. It's always a highlight moment around every time he plays. Griffith Jr. Cummings. This time Richardson makes contact and Kadeem Corbin is away. He will win a throw.
Evans did well there. That could have easily been Corbin in on goal. As we see, what's the rhythm of the nation? The La Horquetta Terminix rhythm section. I've asked you this before, James. Do you think you can beat a drum for entire 90 minutes?
Well, let's start with actually beating the drum in time. Well, it's time to get on the score sheet. Emmanuel Thomas can connect. It's another under-20 player. We've got so many young players. Where did we find them from, Terminix Rangers?
Well, they have a extensive scouting program and certainly a conveyor belt of talent.
Well, here's one of them, Thomas. Edwards has his pocket picked by Cummings. Tries some distance. Didn't find the accuracy needed. Ross Russell is forced into some defending. Here's Guerra. Asun. Oh, Corbin, what a good touch. And even better defending in the end from Real Westport.
It's that man Evans again.
Ross Jr. Corbin. And well, you guessed it, Evans. Ross Jr. forced to defend now, and Johannes Richardson, or Jesus Perez rather, reading very well. But one thing I do enjoy looking at the players that have come out of the Rangers team, the young players in particular, they do play with a sense of fearlessness. Just looking at Real Gill and Kaim Thomas in the CONCACAF Championship, which they are currently part of. It's missing tonight. Both players got that attribute. You look at Daniel David and Emmanuel Thomas, Edwards as well. They're all fearless.
Well, there's a real identity in the way they want to play. And I think that gives the young players the ability not just to slide into that very structured environment, but also to play with confidence, as you would have mentioned. And we've seen that throughout the tournament. We talked about, of course, the number of changes that the Terminix La Horquetta Rangers team have made throughout the tournament, but there is structure, there is a purpose in what they're trying to do, and that is one of the main reasons why they've been so successful. And you have to give credit to that man in the picture, Dave Quamino. He has his charges well learned.
This one is high, finds Asun yet again, and well, I can tell he's much better with his feet than what we just saw with his head. Man from Gasparilla, South Trinidad. That's a schoolboy star with Shiva Boys, one of the legendary teams that would have passed through the SSFL. Cummings. His pass is blocked. Oh, he certainly enjoyed the Ascension tournament, Karen Cummings. 3 international goals for the man known as Ball Pest. And, well, all 3 of his international goals coming against Mexico, the top team in CONCACAF, by the way. 12th position in the world ranking at the moment.
Well, his performances here has, of course, warranted a closed-door call-up, national team call-up for him. And I'm certain he would feel somewhere along the line that he should be in the picture. Well, there's some upcoming international friendlies in September, and I'm very sure Walpes Cummings is hoping that his name is in the lights.
Well, this man as well, Kadeem Corbin, sends Asun on a run. He's got Ross Jr. just behind him. Back to Corbin, and well, just took his eye off of it. Edwards. Well, he had the power, just not the placement. Certainly not a shy guy.
He's not. That's exactly what I was thinking. You would think that he knows that he's coming in for a player that has really lit up this tournament in Real Gill. And despite that, he's not shown or shrugged away from filling those boots.
Well, that's well intercepted by Daniel David. Well, his pass not as good as the interception. Guerra to help out. Here's Edwards. He's got pace, good technique.
That's a good ball.
Good cross as well. And wow, well, a bit of a mix-up there. Interesting defending. Malik Kwao. corner.
Well, it's a very inviting cross here from Edwards. Just no one was able to pick up the invitation.
Maybe now as Junior Asun tries his luck. And this time the blue shirts get an affirmative head. And it's a throw to Westford. Well, I reckon we'll see him in the starting lineup next week.
Well, I can tell you, he's ever present here. And I'm very sure he's already dreaming of playing under the lights.
Oh, with the reputation of La Horquetta Rangers. Yeah, definitely going to see him in the starting lineup next week. Let's take a bet.
I can tell you, I started my career there as a ball boy many moons ago for the famous strike squad of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, what an introduction.
Well, I did witness the Paul Caligiuri laser. Wasn't too long ago, James.
And there I was in primary school, fighting to get a ticket to go to the game, and you were pit side.
I think I was in kindergarten. I was a young one.
What do you make of his view, though? Oh, here's Edwards. Oh, he's taking his man to the cleaners, hasn't he? And the final attempt is too strong. Well, this is dangerous. And, wow, unconventional to say the least.
Well, I'm not sure how much Evans knew about that one. He would suggest a lot. But as soon as swings this one in, no real direction. I think within the panic stations, he was just thinking to get it as far away from the goal as possible. I think he almost put it into his own net. But he was positioned in the right spot. So that's first part of it.
Well, it went somewhere, more importantly for them, not in their goal. But Guerra could change that, and it's well blocked in the end. Well, it had to come a long way to win possession as Gary Griffith Jr., Josima Belgrave. It's Brendan Creed, too long. Certainly a team stacked with talent. Real Westford got some players with international experience. Brendan Creed, one of them. There's Asun. Corbin. It's Creed. Belgrave. Cummings. Well, they're combining their experience at the moment. Find spaces. Griffith Jr. Oh, that's good. Opening up doors here. Maybe a shot.
Oh,
And
that's a
what
foul.
a tackle. Jesus Perez. It's Cummings. Jamil Antwine, the victim of a rough challenge. Taken quickly, Belgrave can't hit. Swall defended eventually. And they're away, Rangers to Edwards. Here's the afterburners. Oh, he's gone.
He did well. Evans did really well there.
Really well.
I thought for a moment there, James, he was going to dive in. But he matched Edwards stride for stride and eventually poked it out. And that's not an easy feat because he does have some legs.
As mentioned before, he's the brother of Jamal Francois. And that's the brother of Jadel Poon-Lewis, the young goalkeeper on the bench. 2 Poon-Lewis, 2 goalkeepers. What are the odds? Corbin. Oh, he's taking his man away. Opening up space, and Tion Brown does really well. Got jiggy with it. Corbin does track the ball really well.
What he's good at, and you mentioned it, I believe in our last broadcast, is that ability to create that little bit of space to get a shot off. And that has been the hallmark of his success in this tournament. Just when you think he's run out of real estate, he finds that little bit of space and a gap. And here he shimmies his way through and gets a very powerful left-footed strike on goal.
But he's gone again, Kadeem Corbin. This time his shot is blocked. Guerra keeps it alive. And this time it's deflected into the back of the net. And it's Daniel David who takes the credit. And the Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, they have broken the resistance. And they are 1-0 ahead of Real Westport.
Well, this was made by the tenacity of Guerra. Held the ball up. Slice of fortune there for Daniel, but he won't mind that one bit. We talked about the impact he's had in this tournament so far. And nothing wrong with getting gifted a goal. He deserves it on the back of his display in the tournament.
Laborde. Asun. Oh, you don't rush in there. Well, Tovin with the tackle though. Letting Asun know. You know who you are. I'm not afraid. Oh. That's an interesting celebratory face.
You'd have to say, James, that within the La Horquetta Rangers organization, there is a high demand for performance. There's no doubt. We've seen on a couple of occasions, even when they are up goals, that they're still demanding from their players high levels, and that's good to see. That's excellent to see. They hold their players accountable for their performances, that's for sure.
Belgrave. Antoine. Touch too heavy from Creed. And they are away with Edwards. Of caution lights are blinking every time he touches it. It's Cummings that comes away with it. Lost in a bad area. And Asun could take his man for a spin. And well, first time effort. Found the target, but not the accuracy to beat the goalkeeper Brown. Paul in search of Laborde. But he's done well. Yes, Belgrave deflected. Ross Jr. to get it away. Well, got away with it. Doesn't stop them from being fancy. One in a bad area, chance some distance. Well, they're really trying to test the new goalkeeper. Jade Hoyt thought he was going to have an easy evening. Well, Westport, they're not giving him that opportunity. Making his debut tonight, Jade Hoyt. Barry St-Hilaire rested. Jabari Bryce on the bench. Oh, that's a bad giveaway. It's Cummings. Well, it just makes playing football look so easy. Wow. Nice space.
That's good.
Oh, and Griffith Jr. flew in, but he couldn't connect.
It's a good delivery here. Griffith Jr. stretches every part of his muscle to get to that one. For a moment there, you thought he would have gotten to the end of that one.
Belgrave. Griffith Jr. could be in. Well cut out by Caleb Sturge.
Need a better pass there, he was in.
First time ball from Quo. Easy for Jesus Perez. Cornel Thomas. It's part of a original incarnation of his opponents, Rangers. It's part of a St. Anne's Rangers setup. St. Anne's Rangers has since been rebranded as Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. Thomas. Easy for Sturge. Cummins will keep it alive. Can keep it. Well, that's a familiar face. The former police commissioner, Gary Griffith II. And there's the third, the son, Gary Griffith Jr. III. Well, in his first rail testing, Jade Hoyt just couldn't get the clearance away, and Akil Laborde has put Real Westport back in the contest. Well, it's game on. The visitors have clawed their way back in the contest. Well, certainly against the run of play, out of nothing. And they want more. Yes, Griffith Jr. Chance still opening up for Laborde. And Rush Jr. would clear the danger. It's Corbin. Tidwell to evade one challenge. Can he find Guerra? Corbin wants it back. Tries his luck, and oh! Well, I tell you, he doesn't need much space, does he? Certainly stretch that man.
Well, Guerra, first of all, trying to get in behind. Look at that from Corbin. He's always in the mix, always involved in everything. Let's take a look at the goal again. Real Westport, just a mix-up from a communication standpoint, and Jesus Perez inadvertently puts it into his back of his net.
Absolutely right. Jesus Perez getting the final touch. Yes, Quo. And what a challenge from Masoon. Can you tell who he's supporting tonight? Well, he'll give you a hint in a second. What an atmosphere. Always a party here every Friday in La Horquetta, particularly when the team in red are doing well. So far, they haven't disappointed. Laborde taken out. Well, help is coming. It's been a while since a lady have run to my assistance. Oh, Keelan Barker certainly has his hands full. Asun. Thomas. David. Corbin. Corner. Been very industrious so far, Kadeem Corbin. Do well to keep the eyes on him. Laborde to get it away. Cummings. Pocket picked, Belgrave. Looking for Guerra. Daniel David to Guerra. And he can get around Quao. Legally at least. Two consecutive man of the matches for Atula Guerra. Certainly found his form in recent matches. He is a joint league leading scorer. Could be under pressure here, Perez. Cracks under that pressure. Ross Jr. comes to the rescue. Here's Junior Asun, switch flanks and, wow, couldn't find the right side of the upright. Won't mind taking in from that vantage point. Where's your favorite part in the ground, Brent?
I think right in front the Magnum stage. Had a bevy of good performing artists here at the La Horquetta ground.
Toppy Boss should be in tonight. Familiar with him? Oh, you're
Familiar with
older.
the music, not with the person.
Yeah, he's getting older. Well, hasty clearance from Cornel Thomas. Can't tell you exactly what he sang, but I'm sure everyone below a certain age, or everyone rammed into this ground, knows word for word what he would have sung.
think that's where Google comes in.
Cornel Thomas, happy to see this one out. Board, Griffith Jr. Wow, that's some fancy stuff. Cummings deflected and off the upright in the end. Wow, it's always a red warning light every time he gets the ball. And well, Rangers flung that out.
When the ball eventually gets back into this path, tell you what, how did that not go in?
Well, Cole would line up another effort for him from the corner. In a good area and well headed away. Cummings keeps going. Flag stays down. Griffith Jr. and well held in the end by Jade Hoyt. Many local fans quite keen to see what the young Griffith Jr. has to offer. It's fair to say he hasn't disappointed so far. Edwards. He's just born to play football, isn't he, Kieran Cummings? He looks so effortless at times. But he's lost it. Tegera! And well, the leg of the goalkeeper did its job. How crucial will that save turn out to be?
Well, he was brave, and that's what he needed to be. He came off his line. He didn't wait for Guerra to make a decision. He made it up for him and came out quite quickly and spread himself big. That's the reason why that ball did not end up into the back of the net.
Wow, attempted to be clever. Chance could still open up. Well, not the best of service that we've seen from Josie Belgrave. Thomas. Oh, that's a collision. License and insurance, please.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's going into the referee's book, because that was late. That was very late. It's a late, rough, high challenge, if I've ever seen one.
The short man, but he's built very strongly, Emmanuel Thomas. Just 18 years old. And there we go. That's what you get for being naughty, Malik Kwao.
Well, Real Westport have found themselves back into this one. And a lot of it is because of the fact that they didn't crumble. And I think that's the key. They went down by 1 goal and they stayed true to what Coach Ron Laforet, the professor, would have said to them. They haven't changed. And they backed themselves. And so far, it's kept them in the game. Well, not sure for how long, though.
Asun. Well dealt with by Evans. Ross Jr. taken out.
I was just about to sing Evans' praises. And he comes and he does that. But positionally, he's found himself where he needs to be in clearing the football. But making challenges like that is not something you want to add to the resume. It's been decorated quite well so far in this game. And that sort of fouls is not wanted. Edwards there with the chance.
Oh, there we go. Goalkeeper's got skills. I did find some of Toppy Boss's music. Songs like Boomland and Titanic, all grossing over 1 million views. Familiar with any of them?
It's in my iShuffle in the car.
I tell you what, might have some Boomland to get some shots in, and one team might sink like the Titanic at the end of this fixture. That's my best bet. Call, that's good footwork. Looking for Griffith Jr., cut out. Daniel David. Cummings finding space as well between the defense and attack, and Creed not finding the net with that effort.
But I think from a real Westport perspective, they would be happy with this half of football thus far, as they've had their moments. Certainly enough to have this man in the picture there, a bit worried, but they've not done poorly despite the slow start. And they may even think, because of that ball press deflection, they should be 2 goals up to 1.
Well, still level at 1 apiece between Real Westport and Terminix Rangers as we enter the final 5 minutes of first half regulation time. This game that has presented chances on both sides as Laborde tries his chance without success, I might add. Real Westport, of course, a team made up of players primarily from along the western peninsula of Trinidad and Tobago, just west of the capital, Port of Spain. Here's Edwards. He's got support with him. He doesn't need any of them. Corbin. Asun. And, well, close enough, but not hitting the target.
Yeah, well, it eventually comes across soon by a toe poke from Corbin, and he places that one over the bar. Just needed to, of course, to settle himself a bit. Rush of blood, rush of a shot over the bar. Oh, that was late.
Edwards keeps it alive, but he gives away possession. Well, might have connected with something that wasn't the ball. play is allowed to continue. And, well, Paul allows his teammate to find some sort of relief. Yeah, he's been hit hard, hasn't he?
Well, it was a late one. Never real chance of getting the football. And Perez left his mark, trying to reach around and poke it away from the ball. Those are the ones that go very deep into the ankle. It's the ones that you wake up with a bit discolored in the morning. Trip down to the ice factory.
The good old memories. Sure, you'd have delivered a few in your time.
I was a saint of a player. Not sure what you talk about.
Oh, not confirmed, nor denied. This play is allowed to continue. Cornel Thomas, search of Cummings. Cummings, oh, that's good from Cummings, and he's well blocked by Caleb Sturge. He appeals for a handball. Yes, Guerra sends Daniel David going. Might win a corner. He has. Emmanuel Thomas, well, the shortest man in height, but he did get up. It's the effort that counts.
Yeah, there was a lot of belief in his jump.
Just 1 minute of regular time remains. From all indications, there will be 2 minutes of time added. Evans, Cummings. But he's done well, Creed. He's opened them up and, well, didn't hit the mark. X marked the spot, but he couldn't find it. But I don't think they'll get a better chance than that one.
Yeah, it's as clear cut as it gets. A good ball there by Cummings. Hesitation by the defender. And Rondell just really had to pick a corner and try to place it in there. Instead, he picked above the bar, which of course doesn't count in football. He'd be very disappointed in that.
So Rondell Gibson, the man with the best chance, perhaps.
Well, in a half that's been short of clear-cut opportunities, I think that's as clear-cut as you get. How will that factor into the second half when we know Rangers turn on the afterburners?
Cobbin, Guerra, heavy touch, still kept alive to Ross Jr. Can he pick a red shirt? Wow, Tian Brown, grateful to hold on. Into the final minute of the additional time that has been added. Came locked at 1 apiece. But he's found his way in again, Rondell Gibson. Well, had ideas. It's a good touch from Asun. Here's Corbin, he's gotten in behind.
And man Evans, again.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
And that's what you want from your centre half, to always be in the right place at the right time and always have the capabilities of sniffing out danger. And that's exactly what Evans has done here tonight. Just placed himself in the right place at the right time.
Final chance. Well, Thomas. And how does the shortest man in the field get ahead of everybody? Doesn't matter. That's a question that will be left for the halftime team talk, as the teams go to the dressing room all squared after a half that has certainly given options on both ends of the field. But at halftime, between Terminix La Horquetta Rangers and Real Westport, it is Rangers 1, Westport 1. We take a pause and we come back with the first half highlights.
Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. At our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Out fishing with the boys. Or a fun DDI experience with friends. Repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services.
Well, the action continues as halftime entertainment continues. 1-1 between Terminix La Horquetta Rangers and Real Westport. Let's look back at what we missed in the first half. But of course, you're right here with me. You saw it all. Let's look again. As this match kicked off, and Karen Cummings dictating the pace for his team, Real Westport early. Akel Laborde benefiting from an open chance and just dragging it wide of the mark. Is that a chance that he will rue later in the fixture? Terminix Rangers and Atula Guerra, they carved open some of their own, and Daniel David's deflected drive just doing enough to beat Tion Brong, and that was the game opener. 1-0. Guerra doing all the hard work and benefiting from some luck. Daniel David, and that was the game's opening goal. And then Quao on the opposite end. Gary Griffith Jr. flying in but couldn't connect. And then this happened. Jesus saves, but Jesus, well, did the opposite of that. He put his team in the deficit, getting an own goal. And Westport were back in the match at 1-1. Kadeem Corbin tried his luck, created some ooh-ah moments, but not finding the target. Then he turned provider for Guerra, but that man, Tion Brown, was solid. Junior Asun also tried his luck, but he found that the brick house was too much to blow down. And then Gibson has the best chance of the match, and yeah, he'd want to have that back. So at halftime, the match remaining 1-1 between Terminix Rangers and Westport. Well, the numbers don't lie, and as we see, even in terms of shots, 8 apiece.
Yeah, 8 apiece on shots, 4 shots on target for Rangers, 1 for Real Westport. 2 fouls for Rangers, 3 for Real Westport. In the yellow cards department, they share that 1 apiece. Offsides, none. No red cards. 6 corners for Rangers, 1 for Real Westport. 0 saves for the Rangers custodian, and 3 for the Real Westport. A game that has been played on the peripherals by both teams. Hasn't really got going yet, but the scoreline would be a happy one for the professor and his charges from Real Westport.
Well, do you enjoy nostalgia? We'll talk about that in a bit. Your comments on the first half?
Well, I think it's a half where Real Westport would have felt that they may have been in front, of course, from that ball press comment opportunity. But from a tactical point of view, they were very happy and composed, very resolute in the way they defended, and very organized throughout. And I think from a Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, the tempo of the game wasn't played in the way that we're normally used to seeing from them. So I think if they are to go up another gear, and you can see there is another gear there for Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, I think they may just be home and free. But football is played on the pitch, and until they do that, they really have to contend with this stubborn Real Westport team.
Well, I'm so sorry to take you away from the present as we revisit the past weekend of Ascension football action. Matchweek 12, weekend highlights. Saturday at the Arima Velodrome, iconic venue. Maruga took on Cunupia FC. Ruthlin Harris in charge of that one. And well, Cunupia, they came calling early. Maruga responded. Some good goalkeeping, perhaps one of the goalkeepers of the tournament. Save, not once but twice. And then Trevin Caesar, boy, he was going to score one of the goals of the tournament, but some good defending. Maruga on the opposite end, they were resolute defensively and offensively. Kept themselves in the match. Got some tackles, but they got their first points, taking away a goalless draw. AC Port of Spain also took on the Defence Force, a crucial match for the second place Defence Force as they tried to close the gap on leaders Terminix Rangers. But it was Che Benny and company, Jamil Neptune, opening the scoring first. And that was 1-0. And then Dwight Quintero equalized for the Army Coast Guard combination to make it 1-1. But Che Benny carved them open like butter. And Jamil Neptune scored his second of the match, put them 2-1 ahead. Benny involved in everything. And then Benny involved in the third as Sean Del Augustus put the icing on the cake, 3-1. Brent Sam did get one to get his 9th goal of the tournament, but too little too late, as the old folks say, as 3-2 this match finished. Brent Sam did put it back as well with a 3rd goal. Couldn't get the winner. But AC Port of Spain had all the tricks, and Benny closing the deal in the end. What a finish. 4-3, AC Port of Spain. At the police barracks on Sunday, police took on Real Westport. And Gary Griffith Jr. showing some early skills, but the finish doesn't complement it. And the Police, easy chance, gobbled up. But they try again. This time the goalkeeper Tion Brown stood solid yet again. And more chances, but Brown was going nowhere. On the other end, Westport, wow, came close. As close as they came to scoring. Cummings tried to add something with his quality. Not that time. Belgrave's ball to Cummings. And good goalkeeping, keeping the Policeman in the contest. And then that happened. Elijah Belgrave getting the touch, and not even Evans could prevent him. And that proved to be the only goal of the match, as that match finished 1-0 in favor of Police. But of course, we remind our viewers that today, the former president of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, David John Williams, did pass away because of cancer. Brent Sancho, you had an opportunity to speak to the president of the Ascension League, and he gave his thoughts on David John Williams.
It was a terrible day today, Brent. As you know, David was a real pillar of strength within the football community, and you know, both of us dealt with him directly. So he will certainly be missed within not only the Pro League, but football as a whole in Trinidad. Not only was he a past president, but his team was a very, very successful team within the Pro League, and he will sorely be missed. But it came as a shock. You know, I myself, I'm still in shock. You know, and let me say my condolences go to his family and his friends and so on. A very sad day indeed.
Well, when you listen to the words of the tournament director, Mr. Ferguson, and he's spot on in the fact that we've worked with David at the boardroom level, and of course worked with him and his club and his success of his club in football. And there's so many facets of what he's left behind. As he rightfully said, it's still a shock, James, and of course he will sorely be missed.
David John Williams will be missed, a void that certainly will be hard to replace in local football. We take a break and come back with second half action.
We have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival if you'll interview me.
But how can you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want?
Well, everybody gets a blank canvas, and the pages are waiting to be written on as the second half continues in the Ascension football match between Terminix La Horquetta Rangers and Real Westport. All square at a goal apiece. Who will grab hold of the reins? Would it be the league leaders, Terminix Rangers, or will Real Westport create an upset? Well, you've got 45 minutes of pulsating action coming up to find out. Welcome back to all of our viewers across the Caribbean. 8 shots apiece for both teams. But Rangers just with the extra bit of quality. They have 4 shots on target compared to 1 from Real Westport. But unfortunate that the game is all level. Changes have been made. 3 changes in particular. Jamal Francois comes in together with Isaiah Lee and goalkeeper Jabari Bryce. So those are the 3 changes for the home team. I'll tell you who was replaced later on. They've shuffled the deck and they're looking for a jack, as second half action is just about rearing and ready to get going.
Second half action.
So it's all to play for in this 45 minutes remaining of this Ascension match. So they've made a ton load of changes. Terminix Rangers, as well, it's becoming quite customary now. And here's Daniel David to get the action going. Junior Asun. And well, that comes to nothing.
Well, certainly the numbers here have grown.
Oh, here's Asun charging forward. Opening up here. And well, what a tackle that proved to be. Asun has stayed down. But the tempo has gone up. Yeah, he looks in some pain.
I think both him and Creed was stretching. And Asun may have come out the worst between the two. Certainly would have been from that collision. Looks like he's in some considerable pain. Hopefully it's not a game-ending injury. Of course, as we look at Gary Griffith Jr. And Real Westport, as I said, of course, confirmation of that substitute, Jade Hoyt. It's been replaced by Jabari Bryce, Guerra by Isaiah Lee, and Josiah Edwards.
The brothers.
Jamal Franco.
Yeah, the brothers replacing each other. A bit surprised that Atula Guerra has been withdrawn.
Well, you could see Creed's follow through. Went straight into the ankle of Asun. May look like the end of his evening. That's unfortunate.
Well, they have taken out Edwards, who is the other winger with considerable pace. Oh, here's one of our floor managers. Hello, Sagan.
The fifth official.
She's the real referee in charge of this production. Well, there's a chance now for Westport. Well, could have done better, not on this occasion. No, good news. Asun is back on the pitch, though he does look in some discomfort. Johannes Richardson looking for Corbin. Francois. Manuel Thomas. Oh, that's good. Very good as he retains possession. kill the ball, showing some neat footwork. Griffith Jr. Oh, brand new. Power up some frozen H2O. From distance.
There's not many in the competition can do that. Certainly that man can. Hit with a lot of venom.
Oh, they'll battle for this. Lee loses it. Daniel David wins it back. Corbin. High challenge. Play continues. And yet another player in red shares a painful moment.
Creed certainly for most of this night haven't taken any prisoners. It's no different. He's a tough cookie, isn't he? Make sure that he leaves his imprint in the game. As Coach Kwame is probably wondering who else he's going to take down. Creed.
Well, Emmanuel Thomas sets his mark. Has his scope on the target and tries his luck. Oh, what a save that turned out to be. Tion Brown.
Well, it was a good flighted free kick. Lacked a little bit of power. Which allowed the goalkeeper to get across, but still not a bad effort.
He's a wee little man, isn't he? Jesus Perez just timed his challenge well. Well, here's Kadeem Corbin off to the races. He's got Lee and Francois ahead of him. Thomas is there as well, but it's Corbin into the side netting. Well, he gave the man the all wrong address. Nobody home. Just couldn't find a home in the back of the net.
Well, when Corbin picked this one up, chop it in the inside, just couldn't wrap his left boot around it. How many times in this competition we've seen him score from those sorts of angles and situation? Just didn't happen for him at that time. I'm sure many at Real Westford was breathing a sigh of relief because he has been clinical in this tournament.
I'm not sure they got an opportunity to breathe. Happened that quickly. And they're here to see Toppy Boss.
I expect to see you somewhere in the mix there later on, James.
I'm too old.
Not for Toppy Boss, are you?
Well, here's Francois. Certainly a man young and full of energy. And somehow the defender manages to get ahead on it. Cummings. Belgrade. Cummings! Oh, Ollie had his measurement, almost an inch.
Well, there is a sense within this facility that that man, Ball Press Cummings, is going to try to take this game into his own hands. At one apiece, It is poised for that sort of performance. He would love to get one on his old employers. Of course, a former player here at Terminix La Horquetta Rangers. There's no doubt about his ability.
Isaiah Lee and well, Tian Brown and Cornel Thomas, well, they didn't communicate really well, and somehow they managed to escape. Wow. Griffith Jr. Creed. Griffith Jr. getting involved. The road. Cummings. Seen him before from this distance. Belgrave. Cummings. Antoine. Well, the red shirts finally get a touch. Well, a chance can open here as well. To Corbin. He doesn't miss. Kadeem Corbin. And when you don't take your chances, the boogeyman will come and get you. And his name is Kadeem Corbin. 2-1.
Well, we talked so much about how effective that this team can be in transition, and it's normally led by that guy who punches it into the back of the net. Gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance and beats on his chest and says, that's all about me.
Well, he's certainly in a big mood at the moment, Kadeem Corbin. And I'm sure there are few who will disagree that he's perhaps one of the most natural goal scorers locally. Always seemed in the mood this evening.
Well, I think what he is, James, is a forward that does the dirty work, as they say in football. He makes the runs that most forwards don't like to make. And he puts himself in position that most forwards don't put themselves into. And you add to the fact that he's clinical. Even when he's not given the opportunity, even if it's a half a chance, or even an inkling of a chance. And 9 times out of 10, James, he creates his own chances.
Well, it's a proven goal scorer. And yet again, he does the business at Terminix Rangers. How crucial will that goal turn out to be? Just when Westport were gaining some momentum. Well, the board certainly showing that he's got some skill of his own. And Junior Asun, his ankle looking brand new. Well, they do have pace about them, that's certain.
Well, if there ever was a tackle to send a message, I think that was it.
Well, you just feel like you're in the Rangers zone at the moment. This This is usually the period of the match when they're most dangerous. David. Oh, that's good. Jamal Francois is through. Wasn't picked out. Soon. And all. Not well hit by Daniel David. Thomas maybe. But he puts his head where no man wants to put his head. Jesus Perez. Here's Kieran Cummings. Oh, he's gone past his man. And, well, couldn't wrap his right foot around it. Elijah Belgrave was among those lurking. So too Gary Griffith Jr. Well, some colleagues, goalkeepers. One of these things are not like the other, and he's sitting next to me, a defender. All goalkeepers, well, Shabba Nottingham and Ross Russell.
May want to call that a celebration drink. Well-deserved 3 points today for Central FC.
Oh, here's Francois. And, well, Cornel Thomas. Well, I was never good at physics, but I don't know how you can get a ball over the bar from that distance. But Cornel Thomas, he managed to do it successfully. Rain nothing, that's what they say these days. When you've got good football, good vibe, who cares about the rain? And get past Gibson. Will be a throw. More changes to be had. And Malik Kwal will leave as Caleb Keel comes in. And what is that? Jacques Poon Lewis coming in. He's a goalkeeper. Well, he's got extra abilities, it would seem. Jorge Campos. Did save quite a few matches for Real Westport.
Well, Jorge Campos, the LA, is it LA Galaxy back then?
Yeah, it was one of my favorites back then. Not sure my coaches wanted me to be like that.
Actually, saw him up close and personal at in New York with the New York Metro Stars. LA Galaxy down 1-0 at the half, and he changed his top, went up top, scored a penalty in that game, and assisted in the go-ahead goal.
My kind of goalkeeper. Tell you what, I'm gonna change my jersey and go on top in the next match that we play on a Sunday. So let's see, he's gone in the right attacking position, Jacques Poon Lewis. Well, here we go.
Is he going to be a hero?
I'm backing the goalkeeper to score. Well, that's too long for Francois. His older brother, Jadel Poon Lewis, is also a goalkeeper as well. Goalkeeper for AC Port of Spain. Well, Corbin could be in. And ball goes out. That's a look at the local Jorge Campos. Jacques Poul-Lewis played as a goalkeeper for this team, and well, he's a striker at the moment.
Well, it was another custodian from the SSFL with similar traits. Kwesi Weston, of course, of Shiva Boys. Saw him score an absolute thunderbolt in Intercol semi-finals. That's when he came off at half-time, James, and went up front. Left the goal, went up front, and scored the winner.
Hint, hint to coaches. Jose Luis Chilevert, the famous Chilean goalkeeper, also comes to mind.
He used to bend it like Beckham before there was a Beckham.
Correct. Looking for Francois. Daniel David keeps it alive. And Sturge. Nice reverse ball to Francois. Oh, and just couldn't stamp his foot on it as soon. But, well, Sion Brown had to get jiggy, and that's exactly what he did. But he has to be alert here again. Well, tell you what, the crowd has had some moments of losing their breaths, and maybe this is another one of them. And yeah, that's the man of the match. He put it on his resume. I saved the shot from Kareem Corbin. Going to be hired anywhere in the world, at least in Trinidad and Tobago. You've got that in your resume. Ross Jr. Asun. Way by Thomas. Well, challenge from behind on Cummings. And a time for a nap.
I'm not sure if it was a muscular injury or if Cummins may have mistakenly stand on him.
Daddy's looking on. Wonder what he got him for Father's Day.
They look like they're having a good time. I don't think they've ever seen their team lose a football game, so why not? I'll be happy too.
I'm sure the fans next to them, they're having a good time as well.
The crowd is certainly picking up here. It's been an entertaining afternoon, and we still have Toppy Boss. We got the Terminix rhythm section. What else?
Looking forward to that song, Boomland. And Titanic. Creed. Evans. Thomas. Griffith Jr. Oh, that's good from Griffith Jr. That's a highlight moment. And wow, just couldn't get his final shot away. That's the old sombrero. Of course, Griffith Jr., the son of the former Trinidad and Tobago Police Commissioner, Gary Griffith Jr. There he is. Call his name and he appears. And of course,
he would have enjoyed that moment, wouldn't he?
He certainly would. He's looking at it right now on our Sportsmax app.
That's a clever bit of skill here by Griffith Jr. Flicks it over the head. Caleb puts himself into a position, tries to steady himself to get a shot off, but just wasn't able to get on target.
mother is also a former TNT Miss World, Nicole Dyer Griffith. Comes from some pedigree.
Well, I was about to say his footballing talent was a chip off of the old block, but can't go down that road. Well, his father was an excellent hockey player.
His grandfather as well, Gary Griffith I. His father was more of a hockey player. His grandfather was a football player, Fatima College.
Sports in the family.
Although this man in your picture might say that he was also a football player. We're not sure about that.
Well, he's shown some touches. I'll leave it at that. I think I had the opportunity to play against him, and he scored 4 goals, and I'm very sure he's never ever going to let me live that down.
How could you? Well, here's a man that scored lots of goals in his time, the Professor Ron Lafferay, 67 years old now. Did play with Pele. Also played with the Metro Stars, I believe, in the US. Also one of the first Trinidad and Tobago players to play in Japan. Wow. More likely to see those moves in Japan and on football fields. Kung Fu type challenge from Brendan Creed. He's been a guilty man of that all afternoon. His father and uncle, also well known in Trinidad and Tobago, Ashwin Creed. Well, he just sent some frustration from the Real Westport team at the moment. They've lost some momentum. Here's Ross Jr. Corbin, well defended by Creed. Griffith Jr.
Oh, that's a good ball.
One late on Bryce.
I tell you what.
And wow, goalkeeper on goalkeeper. I think Bryce might have taken a blow to the head there.
Well, I think Pulis left late. He hesitated when the ball was initially played, and I think if he didn't hesitate, he may have gotten onto that one. As we can clearly see here, the end of it really, that nasty collision took place. But I think on the pass itself from Cummings, if he had left when that was made, I think he would have gotten there. Well, the question is now, James, if, of course, the goalkeeper can't get up. They've already made a change at the half for goalkeeper. Look at the pass here. And I think, of course, he hesitated before he moved out for it. That's the reason why he arrived late, because the pass was good. The weight in the pass was good. The idea of the pass was good. But I think the run, the hesitation in the run, is why he wasn't there first.
Well, the good news is the goalkeeper is back on his feet, Jabari Bryce. Well, they lost some momentum somewhat. The team in blue, Real Westport, they trail 2-1 to Terminix Rangers. As they continue their unbeaten march in the competition. Just confirmation that Poon Lewis was sent a citation by the referee, Keelan Bacchus. Just under 15 minutes remaining in this contest. To be fair to Westport, they certainly have put up a decent fight in this fixture. They lie in 8th position, just 1 win from their last 5 matches. Coming up against the unbeaten league leaders, Terminix Rangers. Tell he's in the mood, isn't he? Well, there's a sighting of Javon Morris. He's been rested the last 2 matches. Sent to warm up the centre back. Laborde. Creed. Well, not much options did present itself to him. Forced to take the hard of the options, and they've lost out to Corbin. Thomas. Bundled over, play on, says the referee. As Belgrave starts an attack on the opposite end. And he's through. And what a save by Bryce.
I tell you what, Rangers wrote their luck there because the rebound seemed to be headed to Cummings.
Francois.
End-to-end stuff now.
Team is a bit stretched at the moment. Daniel David. Manuel Thomas. And, well, close but not close enough. Well, they're looking to shore things up at the back. Here comes the regular boys. Javon Morris and Joel Leslie Russell. The 2 regular centre-backs. They are set to be introduced. Johannes Richardson and Jesus Perez most likely might be the players replaced. Westport, well, they've decided to make some changes of their own. And in comes him, that visitor. And also Rivaldo Brown has entered for Westport. It's not usually an approach that I've seen from Rangers in the past, where they bring on defenders, they show up a result. They usually attack to the very last whistle. So Javon Morris has gone in, which makes 3 centre-backs on the field at the moment.
And here comes the 4th. It's very uncharacteristic of Rangers. Shows that they know that this 3 points is extremely important. They now have 4 centre-backs on the pitch.
Well, that and a blue elephant I've never seen.
That was late. That was very late, that challenge.
Well, I'm quite curious to see the position of the players, where they're going to be fitting.
But it looks like Russell and Morris is going to sit right in front of the back 4. So certainly they're not going to throw numbers forward.
Evans might speak to the pressure Westport has maintained in this match on Rangers. Here's Morris. He gets his feet tangled. Griffith Jr. And the whistle. So Kadeem Corbin is off, which is unusual. Kadeem Corbin and Junior Assoon.
Well, it's certainly a defensive change when you look at the way they've set themselves up. It's almost as they say to Real Westford that we're here to show up the 3 points. That's very, very naughty. This was late. I'll tell you what, straight out of WWE.
How many times have we seen that from Creed? Former national youth player, Brendan Creed.
Well, from where we are, we can hear the remonstrations from Coach Kwamina. Certainly wasn't happy with the yellow card.
Ah, that's a good touch. It's a corner though. Looking for insurance. And they won't find it here. Certainly is a tough cookie, Manuel Thomas. 18 years old. Looked very good since being introduced into this Rangers lineup.
We just wonder with about 7 to 8 minutes or so left if the professor would gamble. Certainly Rangers have gone into a defensive mode, and the question is whether they gamble and put more attacking players on.
Jamal Francois is called into a point position. Here's Creed. Griffith Jr. Just feel like they have to move the ball faster, Real Westwood. Daniel David. And it's gone past everybody.
That's well played.
Sturge. And, well, desperate defending, but they give away a corner. Oh, bit winded, doesn't he, Daniel David? On a dangerous area. Isaiah Lee. Good time for Sportsmax app moment. And it is the second Rangers goal scored by Kadeem Corbin. Cold-blooded killer. That's what he does. It's all me. And it's our Sportsmax app moment. Well, the clock is winding down. Jamal Francois, 2-1. He remains in favor of Terminix Rangers. Manuel Thomas. Sturge. Attacking the space ahead of him. Finds Lee. Ross Jr. Can't find space. Asun gets involved. Thomas. Long searching ball and easy for Brown. 1.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Just about 3 minutes expected to be added on. What a match. What an effort from Real Westport. Just seemed to be running out of steam. It's difficult to call a man of the match in this one, Brent.
I took the executive decision last week. I think it's your turn.
Tough call. This man in the ball, Emmanuel Thomas, has been good. So too Kadeem Corbin. Here's Belgrave. Cummings. Well, he he certainly wants to make a difference. Creed. Cummings the choice, look! No! Wow. He has magic in that left boot. Not this time.
Look at this for a bit of skill. He's the keeper off his line. Just a bit too much purchase on it. It's a valiant effort tonight by Real Westford.
It is. We are inside the final 3. The 3 minutes have added on. I'm leaning in favor of Emmanuel Thomas as our man of the match.
That's not a bad lead.
It's little but he's Talawa. Last shot maybe for Westford to get something out of this fixture. Cummings. Boys, so good. Karen Cummings. Can he be good enough to save his team? Not this time. Tried his best, hasn't he, Karen Cummings? 14 international caps for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Well, can't get past Evans. So win number 11 is in sight for Terminix Rangers. Unbeaten after 13 rounds of competition in the Ascension League. Keelan Barkas looking at his watch. Time is something that is quickly evaporating here. Lewis. Wow. How many times have we seen Emmanuel Thomas take a knock? And we've seen that guy look the other way. Must be a Christian.
That's what happens when you're man of the match, son.
Well, he's turned the cheek so many times, I don't know.
He's been an absolute fighter in the middle of the park.
Well, there might still be time remaining for something special. We saw CSW get a last-minute goal against Rangers last week. Well, surprise, surprise. Javon Morris is lining up to try something of his own here. His uncle, Clayton Morris, is known for his hitting of the football. Can Javon replicate some of that? Well, he can't. Looks more like a goal line clearance. Now that is all that she wrote. And after a game that flattered to deceive, the league leaders remain unbeaten in the competition as they pull away a hard-fought contest against Real Westford to hold on to a 2-1 advantage. Gary Griffith Jr. and company, not for a lack of trying, they give it their best shot, but in the end it was not to be. 2-1 the final score in favor of Terminix Rangers. They keep their unbeaten position at the top of the standings. Real Westford, well, they stay in 8th position for now. Let's take a look back at some of the action in the last 45 combined. And the game started early. Karen Cummings dictating things. And Laborde He got the best chance of the first half. Couldn't pin the donkey's tail. Then Guerra kept it alive long enough for Daniel David to get his deflected effort over the line. And that was the game opener. Some luck, but it gave Rangers a 1-0 lead. Everybody needs luck. Then it was the turn of Westport to get some luck of their own. This time Gary Griffith couldn't connect with the service. But then Lady Luck rolled in their favor when Jesus Perez nodded into his own goal. And that put Westport right back in the contest. Made things level at 1 apiece. Corbin was always a thorn in the side of the Westport. This time not finding the far corner. Then Guerra, goalkeeper, standing firm to the oppression tossed against him. Junior Asun even tossed his hat in the ring. Wasn't to be. And then maybe the best chance, Gibson, Rondell Gibson. And, well, looking back at the highlight reels, you'd want to have another crack at that. Maybe match defining. Coming stride from all ranges and distances. Couldn't get past second half keeper Jabari Bryce. And Emmanuel Thomas, he tried as well on the opposite end. But then Corbin, the wrong address, just missing the mark. And Junior Asun. And Corbin will do the rest. All he needed was the table to be set. And thank you very much. He hits the mark, Kadeem Corbin. That was the game changer, putting Rangers 2-1 ahead. And then goalkeeping by Tion Brong would keep Westport alive. Although Belgrave did have an opportunity. Chose the option of safety. Cummings tried down to the very last whistle to get his team back, but it wasn't to be as the match finished 2-1 in favor of Terminix Rangers. Let's look at the numbers. And, well, very even on shots. 17 shots to Rangers compared to the 15 scored of shots by Real Westport. 8 shots to 5 on target for Rangers over Westport. After that, everything else pretty meaningless. 12 corners though for Rangers. And look at the save category. 4 saves for Rangers, 6 for Westport, the goalkeepers. Very busy. But here's Brent Sancho, who's standing by with a very special man of the match.
Well, I'm now joined by man of the match, Kaheem Thomas. Manuel Thomas. Of course, a good performance from yourself today. Give us and talk us through your performance.
Well, I didn't think my performance wasn't the best. I could have done a lot more to help the team defensively. But I want to thank the rest of the team for putting in a good shift. And kudos to the opposing team for the fight. Nothing coming easy. And yeah, that's it.
Well, of course, 3 points to the good. 13 match days passed, still undefeated. Is the atmosphere in the changing room suggesting that you're getting closer to this Ascension title?
Yeah, for sure. But we don't take complacent. The lead, we could drop points anytime. And defense force come in, well, everybody coming hard, everybody coming against us. And we keep our head up and keep going forward.
Of course, our man of the match, Young Thomas, congratulations on the performance and all the best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course, our man of the match, Emmanuel Thomas, with another battling performance in the middle of the park. Of course, giving the Terminix La Horquetta Rangers another 3 points as they inch closer to this Ascension title. And we are now being joined by Mr. Ron Laffery, better known as the Professor.
That's me.
And of course, the coach of Real Westport. Professor,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, a disappointing result today. Where did it go wrong for Real Westport?
All right, first of all, let me say that I'm pissed off. I'm not pleased at all with our players getting chances and missing chances. I'm displeased with that. So I'm upset, right? What I am happy for is that you're seeing a brand different team now, right? You're seeing structure, you're seeing fellas want to play with each other, you're seeing we getting chances. You know, I'm pleased with that aspect of the game, you know. Where we was before, I was telling the other coach that I played nine games in the first rounds with 9 different teams. That is no more with me. Right, so what I do, I break down the squad, I go on with the 18, the best 18 will play for us, and as I see tonight, we're doing our thing, and you see a vast difference in the team.
Yeah, we've seen some difference in the performance tonight, of course, indicative of that. As you move forward, what are some of the goals and aspirations for Real Westford?
Well, the objective is, as the boss from Terminix Rangers did to us, you know, he invited us here, which we appreciate very much. So, me as the man in charge of it, I always like to challenge and to be challenged and stuff like that, right? So I am happy that you're seeing a vast improvement in the Real Westford. And as I said before, give it some more time and there will be trouble to deal with down the road.
Well, again, Professor, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and all the best to you and your charges for the rest of the season.
Well appreciated. Thank you so much.
That is
yes,
the
sir.
Professor,
Right.
Mr. Ron Lafferty of Real Westford, lamented on the fact of the changes where he would have had to make throughout the tournament, and feel that he has a more settled squad going into the last set of fixtures. We're now joined by the man in charge, of course, of Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, Mr. Ferguson. A smile on the face, a happy man?
Well, not really. But, you know, we had to congratulate Westford. They played a really great game. You know, as I said before, they were very well coached. And their team was very fit. They ran the whole 90 minutes. And, you know, and it's great football for Trinidad and Tobago. To see teams coming out and playing such a high level, a high standard of football, it all goes well for the sport in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, as we get to the end stages of the Ascension tournament, you must be smelling victory. You must be thinking that the tournament is almost won. Is there a magic number in the head? Is there a game that has been earmarked as that's the game you have to win the title?
Well, we have to win all the games, but we are nowhere close to the end. We could lose this tournament very, very easily. You know, if we lose 2 or 3 games in a row, that's it. So it's nowhere close. The battle is still on, and we are taking it 1 game at a time, right? And as you can see, the teams are getting better. They are more strategic. They are more well-schooled, and every single game is a tougher and tougher game.
Well, again, Mr. Ferguson, thank you very much for your words. And again, all the best to you and your charges as this tournament continues.
Great. Thanks a lot, Brent, and you're doing a great job.
Thanks very much, Mr. Ferguson, the man in charge at Terminix La Horquetta Rangers, and a happy campaigner. And, of course, an opportunity now for the camp to view the Campari Play of the Week.
Well, the Campari man of the match, Jamil Neptune, player of the week, receiving his check of $500 from Brent Sancho. And oh, what a moment he had last week. So let's take a look now at this weekend's fixture. Lots to look forward to. Tomorrow at the Arima Velodrome, Deportivo Point Forte, they come up against Central Soccer World in the opening game. And then following that, Defense Force, they've got room to make up as they come up against Canupia FC. On Sunday, we move across to the Police Barracks in Port of Spain, where Police FC will take on AC Port of Spain in the battle of the capital teams. What an evening we've had. That stage and that crowd is going to be jumping in just a few minutes. Unfortunately, this is where we end our broadcast this evening. On behalf of the entire team here at Sportsmax, we say have an enjoyable evening, and until next time, catch you later. Goodbye.